another misconception could possibly be that, everyone sees you as playing songs, writing songs, you're on stage or whatever, you're doing a video and you're just this confident person singing a song. But
Yeah.
I think there's a lot of like inner turmoil and fear about your, like, hopefully people will like this.
Cause you threw fuel in the flame that I was fanning. What you do that for? Will you move on in the vein that I
Welcome to the
waste my
Musician
time to
Secrets
be
podcast. Today I have Seba Safe with me today. He's an Irish singer-songwriter. Welcome.
Hello, thank you very much for having me.
I love your songs. I can't even deal with how great they are, from like the lyrics to the production to like they seriously sound like a song you would hear on the radio. Like I don't understand why they're not already like like some big radio stations.
You're the only one who thinks that. I know.
I
Thank
don't.
you very much.
No, we'll talk in detail about like all the songs and everything, but before we get started, just give a quick, you can take all the time you want, your rundown of where you're from, what got you into songwriting, into music, the whole shebang basically.
Lovely. I am from. I am Michael. Mike Dalton. Seba Safe is my stage name. I am from Galway in the west of Ireland. Um, got into music kind of the good old fashioned way, long hair down to my ass, Metallica t-shirts. Wanted to be like just a grungy little metal kid. And then I went to it was like a summer camp. It sounds really lame now, but for like rock music. When I was like 13, all these like other metalheads, hairy people, little people met up and went to this summer camp, and they were just like started jamming and made a lot of friends there. And then I've just been playing music ever since. Been writing. I think writing songs since I was about 12, and then went through different names and different styles, I suppose. So, but this is the one, Seba Safe. I'm sticking with it. I've found my resting place in Seba Safe, I hope. Yeah, so just working on songs and working on ideas all the time, and that is me.
Yeah. Well, where was the turning point where you said, okay, you know what, I gotta make music, like I can't not make music.
Well, I didn't want to make any money, so I said music, perfect. Let's just do that. No, I don't know. I wanted to. I just love writing songs, so always working on my songs, and I just realized I would be just very unhappy if I wasn't doing it. So I suppose it was a selfishness to be happy, and also simultaneously very unhappy at the same time, just worrying about your own songs. But yeah, no, I just love performing and I love writing, so I think that was just something I would want to always do.
Mm. So you kind of always were drawn to like the songwriting aspect, or was it like a more of a process?
Um, I think my parents were always just playing music in my house. So I was like we were always listening to something here, like in my home house, and I think lyrics would be where I mainly kind of like to focus, and a lot of the artists that I listen to are kind of very lyric heavy, focused on. So I don't know. I wanted to. I suppose writing lyrics was my main thing, and then I started picked up the guitar. I wouldn't class myself as an amazing guitarist in any means, so it's kind of a way to get my lyrics out, because yeah,
Yeah.
I've forgotten what the question was. I think that's
No, I just asked if it was like a process or if it was just like a, songwriting. That's it.
I think it was just pretty much straight away, just guitar. 13-year-old, maybe younger, 12, 11, just like I'm going to try and write a song. So
Yeah.
I think it was pretty much straight off the bat. I just wanted to write songs.
Yeah.
Usually trying to be Kurt Cobain back then, I think, was the goal. I'm just trying to be Rihanna or something. I don't know what happened.
You still got time. You
I can be Rihanna.
can be Rihanna. You got the hair.
I think I'm this.
Yeah. I totally relate to the lyrics because I mean I'm more this is a very uncool perspective, but I'm someone that listens to the lyrics, and I mean I love a good bass, so those are probably the two things. But I'm a very lyric driven person too. Like I'll listen to the lyrics first, and then everything else just kind of is around it. But and I think that's what drew me to your music, because the lyrics are so good. Are you kidding me? Like my favorite. So you've written so I mean there are at least 5 of them out.
Yeah.
I Want, Wired, Buckled In, Drip, and In Waiting. And
Yeah.
I mean your recent one is In Waiting, which you just brought out the acoustic version like yesterday, so it's really recent. The one I connected the most with was I Want.
Yeah. It's the thing about being like focused on lyrics and trying to release a song that will like kind of be popular or whatever. Like sometimes I fear that you have to water down your lyrics to get a kind of a poppy tune, sometimes. So
Yeah.
that with I Want, that was my first release, and I was like, I just wanted to make sure that people know that I like writing. So
Yeah.
just trying to it's trying to find that balance between pop and also keeping it to yourself and being true to your lyrics. I suppose is the hard question, but anyways, yes.
It sounds very personal, like the it just sounds like it's a song that's very personal to you. You can hear it in your voice, and I just felt like, especially like from the lyrics, like I love how you just paint the picture of like you talk about like these oppositions, like I want this but I also want that, right? And I want this but I also want that. Like you kind of and I love that they play on words sometimes, and you say you want to figure yourself out, right? There's like the line to figure me out, and then sometimes it says like I don't want to figure me out, right? So it has this really cool twist, I think. But how did that process start? Because I mean, again, the lyrics are so amazing, and I'm going to point a few out that really stood out to me in a minute. But what was the process behind that song?
It was funny. I got this weird job where I was in a coffee stand in the middle of like a corporate office floor. So just like depressed people on computers, like as far as the eye could see the side of me. And I was just like standing alone at this coffee machine. It was really weird. And so for like most of the time, I was like literally doing nothing. I was like, so then I started writing, and I just literally started saying, I want. I just like wrote a list of things that I want, and then I was like, this could be obviously it could be a cool song. And I went home that day and I sang I think it was the very first part of the first verse. That was like just straight, that was never changed. That was what I wrote out first. And I read it to my housemate, and he just started to laugh. He thought I was joking. I was like, oh, that was the reaction I was expecting at all. But then I was like, I'm serious. And he was like, oh yeah, that's cool. But yeah, that's how it started. In my lone boat in the middle of an office floor, like. But yeah, it was basically just trying to be things that I want and things that kind of like being selfish about it, I suppose. Just what do you want? What do you want?
I mean, that's what makes it so relatable, I think, is because everyone wants something, right? We all want something from life. Sometimes they're a bit contradictory. Is that a word?
Yeah.
And there was a line I thought was really cool, was I want to be more and less carefree at the same time, and I want to read minds. I want a box of rollies, which you have to explain in a minute what that is, and a bottle of red wine, but I really just want to stop wasting time.
It's I just think, as a person, I'm very indecisive, like in general. So I just find, and I think everyone wants everything. So you want the bottle of wine, and then you drink it, and then you're like, I just wasted, just got drunk by like I could have been writing music or doing something productive, and then you're like, okay, it's a dog chasing his tail or something. I'm a dog chasing its own tail.
But aren't we all at some point? Like, I I always feel, you feel guilty for not being productive enough, and then you're so productive that you don't want to do anything anymore because you're getting so tired of, doing what you're doing. Like it feels like you can never do it right.
You can't win. You can't win.
You can't win, no.
When you said a box of rollies, I actually never, to this point, I've never thought about that being kind of like an Irish slang before. I was in my own head. I was like, everyone knows what a box of rollies is. It's just like rolling cigarettes, like with papers. And
Okay, maybe I'm just being stupid because I don't smoke, so I don't know the lingo for that.
And if my mother hears this, neither do I.
I don't even know what we were talking about. Just
Move on.
I thought it was like some cool Irish candy or something that I had no idea.
I don't know why. I never even thought about that being not like understandable or relatable. But yes, box of rollies.
Yeah. Okay, maybe it's just me. Probably everyone that's listening now.
If it was an Irish sweet, it sounds delicious.
It does sound like a sweet that's just in Ireland. Or
business partners.
Something like that. Yeah, box of rollies. Like something like that. I would buy it. What is a lyric that you would say, maybe proud isn't the right word, but in a good sense, like something where you're like, this is my favorite lyric so far I've written?
Ooh. Geez, I don't know. That's a tough one. When you read out that sentence there from I Want, I was like, that's pretty nice. God, I don't know. It's a very tough one.
From any of your songs, doesn't matter. It doesn't have to be this one.
I do like. I like Buckleland. My friend Hugh Clark, he's 93 Acres. He just made that beat, and then I just wrote over it. It was originally just I turned 27, and I started writing. It was called like a poem called 27, but I'm not too sure any of that song. I was pretty proud of that song. Dreamt that I was nearly 30, realized I was awake. I don't know. Buckleland. I'm pretty happy with the lyrics in Buckleland. I can't pick one to a point, but I don't know. I'm always writing, so I can't pick one.
Yeah, no, it's really cool because I mean, all of your songs are just lyrically on such a high level. That's why I thought it would have been really interesting to if you have like a favorite lyric or not.
I never thought about a favorite really. I have a song called Lament coming out. It's part of an EP that I Want was recorded on. It was like 3 years old, but I'm releasing it eventually, finally. But that whole EP is like 5 songs of just very depressing lyrics, and I'm like, yes, job well done.
Well done.
I'm going to be depressed. Listen to my next EP. It's going to be.
I'm happy, I swear. It's just, I'm fine. Like it's just the songs are sad.
I'm sorry, that was a pretty bad answer. I can't make my mind up about most things in life, so to pick one of my own lyrics, I'm not too sure. But you were in Drip. You're the Chinese water torture to my maritime mind. I like that one.
Ooh. What song is that from?
Drip.
Came
out like last summer.
Yeah, that's a really good song too. I've been listening to your songs on repeat, so all the extra 100 streams you've been getting are probably all from me.
Candy.
The last interview I did was really funny because he's like, I've been randomly getting all these streams from Germany. I'm like, yeah, that crazy German girl. Yeah, that's like the random streams you've been getting from Germany. It was probably me. Yeah, but what do you think makes a good song?
I think person putting themselves into the song is it's a nice thing where you can kind of get a feel for who the person is, rather than it just being like some pop song on the radio that's anyone could kind of sterile, a lot of pop music. But
yeah,
I think there's little quirks and oddities within a song that kind of give you an idea of who the writer is. I think is quite important.
Yeah.
And lyrics and melody, which is probably pretty everything in a song. But yeah.
What would you say is your writing process? Do you have a process? Is it different every time? Do you have like a certain way of doing it?
It's kind of 50-50 between either I have lyrics written down and I want to get music behind them, or I have a melody idea and I just sing gibberish. And what's really weird about singing gibberish is I think subconsciously, like I'll sing actual gibberish like blah, 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 and then you like listen to it back, and then you can start to pick out words, and then sometimes I base words around the gibberish, and sometimes like a lot of the time it works out. So there's some like, I think some like crazy person inside my brain just kind of speaking out the words for me. So in the background I was like, I'm not even doing this. But yeah, I think singing gibberish is a good trick.
That's very interesting that you say that, because I signed up for a songwriting course with Ryan Tedder.
Yeah.
Everyone that doesn't know who Ryan Tedder is, he's the lead singer from One Republic, because I get that question a lot. Who's Ryan Tedder? Is like, you know him. He's One Republic lead singer. That's him. And he's an amazing songwriter. And so I signed up for the course, obviously, and he does exactly what you just said. He says that he kind of finds a vibe for the song. He puts down like some guitar or some synth or whatever, gets a drum beat, and then he just gets the mic and he just starts saying gibberish, whatnot. And then he says that like subconsciously your mind or you are kind of trying to tell yourself what you want to say.
That's mad. That's cool.
Yeah.
That's exactly how I feel. The only annoying thing about it is sometimes when you write, like, you make up some real nice gibberish and you're like, God, I'd love to have some lyrics in there. Like, how do I do that? And like, that is some fine gibberish. But then when you put lyrics to it, it's like, the gibberish is so much nicer.
You should just put like on your EP that's coming out, just put a song in there that just is gibberish, and then see how people respond to be like, oh yeah, I just learned a new language. Like, just make up, if that was Siberian or whatnot. Be like,
I'm fluent in 65 languages.
Yeah, there was this is like forever ago, but there was this girl that her video went viral because she was just talking gibberish, but she just made it sound like it's from that country. So like her German gibberish, so she would be talking gibberish, but it would, for someone that doesn't know German, it would sound German. For someone that she would do it the same with like Italian or Irish or whatnot. And that video went viral. Like, she was on Ellen and stuff, just by her just talking gibberish in different languages.
Live by gibberish. It's going to get us everywhere we need to go.
Like, how nuts is that? So that would be like a funny thing to kind of pull off on the EP. Just kind of keep it gibberish.
Writing, trying to battle between lyrics and then also keep trying to get pop songs, whatever, not that everyone kind of get into. That's the tough one. So I think gibberish could be where it's at.
the middle.
What's that Oasis song, Champagne Supernova?
Yeah.
Liam Gallagher is like slowly going down the hall faster than a cannonball. He goes, even I don't know what that means. That's like, they were doing it. We can all do it. It's fine.
Yeah, or there are plenty of songs out there, but sometimes it just doesn't have meaning. I mean, especially as songwriters, you can just kind of get away with making up stuff that doesn't mean anything. Right? So there you go. What do you think is the biggest misconception when it comes to the music industry? What is something like that you wish people are just, you know, that don't know anything about the music, or even musicians who are just like, you know, wake up, people. This is not how it is.
Well, I think the money thing, I don't know, money's kind of a boring answer, I guess, but like I think every time I tell someone that you get 0.006 cent to play on Spotify, they're like, oh, see, I stopped myself from cursing there. I'm getting good. They're like, Jesus, like, is that really all you get? Which is, it's insane, really, isn't it?
Yeah.
0.006. But I think another misconception could possibly be that, you know, everyone sees you as playing songs, writing songs, you're on stage or whatever, you're doing a video and you're just this confident person singing a song. But
yeah.
I think there's a lot of like inner turmoil and fear about your, like, hopefully people will like this or will show just you're just critiquing yourself, and think then finally after snowballing it comes into this like, hey, I'm gonna play this song, and you're just like happy out. But it's like yeah, it was a lot of shit went on to get that song. Sometimes.
Yeah. Oh yeah, for sure, 100%. What were like the struggles that you had to like overcome, or is probably still overcoming, because I know we all have stuff to work through, but what you said would be like the biggest struggles, like you said, those inner turmoils. What were those, like the biggest ones for you?
I think it's just trusting yourself, and like if you like it and deep down you really like the song or whatever, just go with it then, and just stop. I think I'm always second guessing myself, just saying, oh, it's not good enough, it's not good enough, it's not good enough, and then just worrying for no reason, and just overthinking, I think, is the thing. Just being confident. Yeah, like someone like in a house party situation, and someone's like, here's a guitar, play a song, and you're like, oh no, like it's ridiculous. You should be like, okay, yes, here's the song I wrote. Yeah, being confident, I think, is the key struggle, possibly.
Yeah.
I would say. Do you have many? Do you have many inner turmoils?
I got so many, I don't even know where to start. I mean, it starts at, you know, fear of judgment.
That's a big one.
That was.
Can I take your answer again?
Yeah.
Sorry, continue.
Yeah, no, just being, you know, especially as a songwriter, you know, you're just, especially if you're writing about something that's really close to you and is like such a big part of you, and then you're just kind of putting it out and seeing how people are going to receive that. That is so terrifying. It's like rips out your heart, and then kind of, you know, see how people are going to treat it, basically. And, you know, not everyone is going to like your stuff, but but in the beginning it was really hard for me to kind of this sounds weird, but like kind of disconnect from my song, because if I took everything personal that people said about my music, oh my gosh, in the beginning I would just cry. I did not know how to deal with that, even if it was like any type of critique, positive, negative. Obviously positive was not.
Positive's as hard, I think, as negative. I was like,
yeah, you don't know what to do with like the positive. You're just like, thank you.
You always have way too many hands when someone gives you a compliment. It's like,
yeah. How do I stand? Is this a natural way of standing? Like, you're just like all awkward. It's very, very, it's such a journey. You're just on this emotional roller coaster as a song, especially if you're like a singer songwriter, I think, because you're kind of like not just writing it. Sorry?
It's like being a masochist. It's just like you're just in there for the hell of it, like.
Sort of. Really, I've never seen it that way, but kind of is, because you just.
That's pretty pessimistic, but no, it is good. It's good. Write music, kids.
Right. Well, it's very therapeutic. I mean, it did, get me through depression and, made me a happy person that I am now, even though it didn't sound like it the last, 5 minutes. But, but it is very powerful and it can really help you. But I think as soon as you kind of open up and you release that, you kind of need to learn to kind of not disconnect, but put space between your opinion and your music and what others are gonna think of it and how they're gonna receive it, I think.
Have you ever like written a song and then it's done and then you just kind of play it back or play it yourself and just being like, where the fuck did that come from? Like you don't even have, sometimes I don't even remember writing it. And it's like not like that I don't remember writing it, but it's kind of just falls out and you're like pretty weird. It's like that's mad.
Oh yeah, most of my songwriting is like that basically. I just want to do this cover, and then you kind of just whip out the guitar, and all of a sudden you're just like, in 10 minutes, you're just like, what just happened?
Crazy.
Yeah, I woke up at like 2 a.m. once, wrote a song in like 15-20 minutes, went back to bed, and then the next day I'm just like, what is this? But it's now one of my favorite songs.
Cooking in there, like, who knows?
Yeah.
Brewing away there for months and you don't even know. And then you're like, blah, blah, blah.
Yeah. What was like your weirdest or most interesting way of writing a song so far? Or it's like the craziest place you've written or the craziest story?
The song Lamont Lament that's going to come out is I was living in San Diego in a street called Lamont Street, and there was 22 lads from Galway living in a small beach house in San Diego. It was mad, like people sleeping in the garages, people sleeping like in the kitchen, like it was mad. But there was this crazy kind of junkie drug couple. They lived in the house next door, and then I was kind of on off with my girlfriend at the time for years, and it was kind of going down the toilet. So then I just, in the middle of all this, like 22 people just partying for weeks, just wrote that song called Lamont Lament. It's basically about me and my girlfriend at the time, but kind of lived through the weird junkie couple, but also kind of through me. So it was, and all the partying that was going on in our house. But it was so that was a funny one. I wrote it in the garage where there was like 8 mattresses. There's people looking out for the day. I was just sitting on this blow up mattress with this like really crap guitar that was held together with tape, and wrote that song there.
Oh my gosh, that's funny. Yeah, 22 people in one little room.
And sometimes guests, like the friends of other people, would come to stay for a few days. So at some point there could have been like 30 people living into that room. It was mad.
Wow, talking about a crowded place,
There was a week that some of my friends came to see me, the landlord had cut off the electricity. So it was like 22 people in candlelight. It was actually possibly the best week of the whole thing. No electricity. There was like candles and people everywhere. It was very romantic. 30 people in it.
I bet. I bet. That's really cool. How would you say, like, dealing all with like that, all that emotional roller coaster and stuff, like how do you deal with it or kind of stay semi-sane or kind of work your way through it, or is there a way to work your way through it?
A little thing called alcohol, at least.
Okay.
I know. I'm joking.
Of course we are joking. Kids don't get any ideas.
I don't know. I think that's songwriting is the trick. I think sometimes you just writing anything. Sometimes even if you don't know what you're writing, and then you kind of read it, and you're like, oh, so that's how I feel. Like you don't even know yourself. It's good to tell yourself sometimes.
Yeah. Yeah, it definitely keeps you sane for sure.
Mm.
Um,
And, yeah.
what's a song you wish you would have written?
Ooh. Straight off the top of my head, that came into my head. There's a song called "The Temptation of Adam" by Josh Ritter. He's like an American folk guy, but it's just a really beautiful story about this like soldier who's falls in love with this nurse, and they're living in this bomb bunker. It's mad, but the words are just really, really good.
Ooh. So The Temptation of Adam by who?
Josh Ritter, Ritter.
Gotta
That's
check that
really
out.
the first thing that popped into my head. So I was going to try and think of like a cool answer, but that's I suppose that's probably it. If that popped into my head.
No, it's usually what pops into your head first is usually the most not correct. I mean, what does that even mean? But that's usually what you're really feeling.
Yeah.
That's why I don't like to like stage the questions or ask them in advance or tell you guys in advance because usually the first answer that comes into your head is usually what you really.
Lyrically, I think that's one definitely. There's an Irish band called Funeral Suits. It's got All Those Friendly People. That's a very good song as well.
Funeral Suits.
Yeah.
Suits. Oh, I love me some good new fresh music.
What would you? Am I allowed to ask you like? Because I feel like every time you ask me a question, I want to ask you, but then
you can. This is just a conversation, you can.
Yeah, but you probably answer the same thing every time, but in every podcast. But what top of your head? What would you pick?
I mean, I Want from you is pretty good, so that's what I said in the beginning. Like, that's really good. It's probably
You're making me blush now. You're making me blush.
Oh, it's really good. Like, I've been just jamming out to that song the entire day, which has been really fun. Because it just has, I just love the combination between like the lyrics and the production side as well. Like then you have like these runs like at the end of the second verse, where it kind of has that like a run, like those stabs, and then the music kind of cuts out and you just have these stabs. And and it's really cool because I love when I get surprised and I'm not expecting something happening in the song, and you do that, which is cool.
I love that as well. That's one of the you were asking earlier about a key to a good song. I love surprises. I love surprises.
Yeah, no, that was really cool.
Have you listened to a band called All the Luck in the World? They were
Old Luck in the World.
All the Luck in the World. They're Irish. They're friends of mine. But Kelvin, the guitarist, he produced I Want and that whole EP. He's a wizard.
Who did so he did the production for the song?
Yeah. For I Want and the EP the 3-year-old EP that I haven't released yet, but it's coming out. Actually, the EP is haunting me. I was like, what? This is what I've been doing for 3 years. Like, why haven't I released it? Why haven't I released it? Why haven't I released that yet? Why haven't I released release it? Like, it's coming. I put it into CD Baby yesterday. I was like, I felt like I had an exorcist. I was like, it's done. It's
it's done. There's no going back now. It's in CD Baby. It's done.
My head started spinning around. I was puking everywhere.
How is it with you though when you're working with producers, like because that one was a friend of yours, is that usually how it happens, or do you like pick a producer that you want to work with? Or
I'm actually lucky that my other friend Hugh, he goes under Ohana's music. He produced In Wating, and he produced Wired, and he did the mix of the new In Wating acoustic. He's one of my best friends. I've known him for years, and he's amazing. But for Drip, I went to he's a friend of mine kind of through college, so I knew him as well. So I haven't really worked with someone I don't know, which don't know, like fully don't know. But it'd be nice to maybe be nice for a change. I find it hard to production is just a fucking mind boggler. I just don't know what I want. If a song that I want, I don't know what I want. Like I just genuinely don't know. Like some days I want to be a folk acoustic guy. Next day I want to be Little Peep or something. You know, I just can't make my mind up. But I think I don't know. Not sure if that it's a bad thing or is it?
Yeah. I mean, I think, I don't know if it's just like a creative thing or just a me and you thing, but as you have just bazillion ideas and you want to do that, you want to do this, and oh, what about this idea and that idea? And I'm like, oh, I just want to have this vibe, and then the next day you want a different one. And like, how is it though when you're then like, even if they're like your friends, do you go with an idea and a concept? Do you send them a demo and then they just kind of do their thing, or is there like
yeah, it usually starts with the demo, but most people they want to start from scratch. Obviously with lockdown, that's one good thing about lockdown. I've just been getting much better at my own production. Like I'd love to get to a stage where I could just do it myself, but I'm very lazy, so that's a problem.
It's so hard though, like producing. It's an own world for itself. Like I've been trying to kind of figure it out for the last like 2 years probably.
It's crazy. It's like when you're reading a book and when you've read the same sentence over like 10 times and you're like, it's not going in. It's not going in. It's not going in.
It's somehow not. Yeah, no, I don't know. I think we're on the same page here. I don't know. It's just not. I mean, I'm at a level where I can now put together like a demo where I'm like, okay, this is kind of what I wanted to sound, but that's it. I'm not.
I think if you can do that, it's almost enough, because having someone else produce on it is, you get a bit of extra flavor possibly, which is probably a good thing, unless they completely take it somewhere you don't want it to go. But
I didn't know I was in the hip hop genre.
I am. Oh, okay.
I didn't know this was happening.
Should have told me that.
Oh my gosh. This has been a blast. Thank you so much for talking to me. And
Thank you very much for having me. This is my first ever interview. So this is
really
lovely. Yeah, as Seba Safe, definitely. And I've had a lot of fun.
That's cool. Yeah, I just love I want this to be more of a conversation than me being question. It's musician talking to a musician, songwriter to songwriter kind of thing. And so yeah.
Internal warrior to internal warrior.
Exactly. struggling to we're just all just figuring it out and trying to like figure out this music thing, and kind of
it'll get you
for sure. Like that's the thing, if you're not like 100% behind it, and if this is not really what you want to do, if you're not really passionate about that, you're not gonna last. Like especially in the beginning, it doesn't make any to hardly any money or very little money, and if you don't push through that, like it'll be like years or maybe even decades before you see any success. And if you don't really love what you're doing, you'll quit before it really gets interesting and fun.
And I think what I'm trying to work on is, like, sometimes I'll be like, oh, Joe, that got no one listened to that, or no one really shared that, or no one liked that.
Yeah.
The key is to be just like, so I put that up for me, as I obviously you wanted to do well, but I think if you just put blinders on and just keep doing what you think is it sounds good and what you think is right, then that's the main thing. That's what I hopefully will continue to do.
I hope so, because I really love your music. Like it's already, all your songs are already on my playlist, so keep going. I mean, I can't wait for the EP to come out as well.
That Lament, that song I was talking about, comes out the 19th of what month is it? March.
We're in February. March.
And then the EP comes out the 2nd of April, so 2 weeks after.
All right. Okay. Perfect.
I feel guilty. I haven't listened to your songs, but I'll do that straight away. I'm gonna.
Yeah.
have to-
No, I'm not as far as you are. I'm not. I don't. I'm still kind of looking for producers that I like.
Yeah, it's
So they're not like I only have like I've only performed my songs live, so they're like only you'll see like live covers. I keep saying covers when they're my own songs. I have my own cover my original songs. I have like a couple on YouTube that are like poorly recorded from like 5 years ago or something. But I haven't like sat down with a producer and kind of made it happen. So
it's the producing thing is hard. I think I feel I've gone a bit poppy on the song. Not too. I love how they sound, but
yeah.
at the end of the day, when I write a song, it's just me and an acoustic guitar.
Yeah.
So I kind of want to incorporate that more.
Yeah.
Into recording, producing. So finding a producer is a tough one.
It is. It's so hard because you kind of need. It's not just like, okay, I want this is what I have. This is what I want to sound like. Go and do it. It's a very personal thing, and if you're not vibing, if you're not getting along, then it's going to be really hard to make a good track. Like that's so hard. You need to find a producer that's not only has the skills that you need for the song to happen, but also has the personality and the at least the vibe there to get
Definitely.
along. And I think that's
And
for
you
me is
need
the
to know-
challenge.
Sorry.
No, go ahead. I cut you off. I'm sorry.
Right. I cut you off. I think it's important to know not exactly, but if you need to have a clear enough vision of where your song is going, because if you don't, then you're basically getting a stranger to produce their version of your song, which you'll ultimately probably not be happy with. So if you don't tell them, you need to be able to talk to them.
Yeah, exactly. Yep. That's super hard.
It's very hard.
Yeah, but you've made it so far. You're already like ahead of me, so that's they're amazing. They're really good tracks.
Right there. No, I just need to keep going. Keep going.
Keep going. Keep putting out great music because I love what you're doing.
I feel a montage coming on.
Yeah, go ahead. I have one more question before I let you go. What advice would you give to someone that is maybe just wants to get into songwriting or has been songwriting, is kind of struggling? What advice would you give them? What's something you would have wished like 10 years ago?
Run! No. I think the biggest thing is I think if you like it yourself and you're happy with it and you like it deep down, then you will be happy with that if you put it out. I think I fell into a trap of trying to write songs for that I thought would suit certain things or maybe might do better than other songs, or
Mm-hmm.
if you have an agenda about it, I don't think it's a good way to go about it. But if you're writing for you and stuff that you would listen to yourself, I think that's another big thing. Like if you're actually listening to your own music, saying this is fucking cool,
yeah,
then that's the main thing. I think if you're happy with yourself and with your music.
That's really good advice. Yeah.
I'm not sure.
Yeah. It took me a long time to figure that one out.
I'm still figuring it out, unfortunately, but be yourself.
Mm-hmm.
Be yourself, kids. Don't drink.
Don't drink. We found out two things: what rollies are, and how to deal with all your emotional turmoils. Oh my god!
This podcast has been sponsored by Alise Koa and Seba Safe Alise Koa.
Yeah, rolly candy. Yeah, exactly. Okay, I'll probably get so many comments about. Oh my gosh, I can't. Anyways, on that note, so you just brought out your acoustic cover. I keep saying cover. It is your song, acoustic version of your own song, in Wating. Right, yes. That just came out
They came out yesterday, yeah.
Yeah.
Available on all platforms.
Yeah.
So yeah, my next release is that Lamont Lament song and then that EP from 3 years ago. So I'm going to take kind of a sad folk dip for that release, and then in May, then I have a kind of a poppy number called Lilo coming out, and then the plan is just to release as much as possible. I'm sick of waiting. Otherwise, I'll never release all my songs. I'm sitting on a pile of them, so hopefully I can just keep going.
Yeah, let it out. Let them. I want to hear more music. So where can people find you? Like, where can they find your music? Where can they find you on the social media platforms? Where can people connect with you?
I suppose Instagram is the main one for, like, in terms of social. If you want to contact me there, look at stuff there. I intend on putting a lot more just me playing songs in my room, whatever videos, just casual videos over the next 2 months or however long we're imprisoned for. But yeah, Spotify, iTunes, Deezer, Tidal, any of the main ones. I'm not really on SoundCloud for some reason, but I'm thinking about putting up more demos on SoundCloud to kind of test stuff out. But yeah, Facebook, anything. Twitter, I need to start using Twitter. I'm an old man. I'm like, what's Twitter? But I need to. And one day I will.
Dang, Twitter scares me.
Yeah, it's terrifying.
I don't know, all the beef that goes on Twitter and people fisting each other. I'm just like, no.
I'm gonna lie in my bed instead.
Yeah, I'm fine with just my one Instagram, thing. That's it. Like, people are like, you gotta be on Twitter, you gotta be on Facebook, you gotta be on Instagram, you gotta be on Reddit, you gotta be like on TikTok and Snapchat.
TikTok scares the shit out of me, man. Like, what the hell, that thing? Like, it's just, it's just like kids trying to be sexy, like teenagers. That's like, oh, what is this? I don't know what it is.
What is happening?
People who are deeply in love with themselves, just miming movies and dancing and shit. I'm like, oh, I don't know. I don't know.
Whole new world for sure. Dang, like, I don't know. I just have Instagram, and maybe eventually sometimes I'm on a Facebook. I'm trying to get better with Facebook, but I'm really bad when it comes to social media. So, hey.
Yeah. I'm bad at replying to my own friends. Even I was like, God, like, why didn't I reply to that? I saw your message, so I'm sorry, friends.
Yeah. Same. I'm at this level, and I'm so embarrassed. But anyways, I'll have people, my own family and my friends. They will call either my husband or other people that are around me to get in touch with me. So they'll like call Tony, be like, is Alise here? And they're like, yeah, of course. And then they're like, oh yeah, can I talk with her? Like, I'm at that level where I'm so bad that, like, they will get in touch with other people to talk to me. Like,
it's good. It's a new level.
That's very embarrassing to say, but I'm getting better, because with the podcast I need to like constantly check my messages. So at least I'm getting there. But I know that I'm really bad at it. So that's what I'm working on at the moment. So can only get better from here. Can't really get much worse.
But this conversation has made me feel a little bit more human anyway. So thank you for that.
Yeah, of course. Yeah, that's my goal, is to make everyone comfortable that I talk to with and at, and all that stuff. Anyway, thank you so much. Thank you for your time. And
thank you very much. Let me chat to you.
Yeah, this was awesome. Like, I'm just such a fan from your music. I hope there's more. And what I wanted to ask, the playlist, you said I saw on your Instagram that you had the hot tamales.
Yeah.
Playlist. Where can people find that?
I think it's on my Spotify account. It's a Spotify playlist.
I tried to find it. I just can't. Maybe I'm just too
I was just bored with me and made a playlist of some songs I like. But yeah, Hot Tamales on Spotify. I think it's on my Spotify page.
Okay, perfect. Then I can link that. I mean, if you want people to listen to that, I can link it up as well. I'll link up all the social media, all the Spotify links, everything, playlists, whatever. I'll link it all up so people will have no trouble finding you because you're awesome. Keep it up.
Thank you so much. It's lovely to chat to you, and thank you very much for having me.
Thank you for listening to the Musician's Secrets podcast. I'm your host, Alise Koa. I hope you got to learn something new about producing or songwriting or mental health when it comes to making music, the fears that most musicians have when making music. So everything that's behind the scenes, behind making music, you will learn it here because I am basically talking to anyone that makes music all around the world. So I have a great privilege to learn all of that, and I can't wait to share it with you all. So follow this podcast if you enjoyed what you heard today, and go and share it with somebody that you think could enjoy this episode as well, benefit and learn from it. And as always, there's more information at alisekoa.com/podcast. Talk to you soon. Bye.
Above those classical gases divided into the masses. I should know a bit about it, but I was talking to classes, and now my friends are living